G'day! In today's video I'm swapping the motherboards on a Galaxy G04. This one here has a broken screen. I can only get parts from China, so at this point the customer's purchased another phone, mainly because the information on here is that valuable, and I'm going to be transferring the main board from this phone into that phone into this phone, and then I'll have a new working phone and an old new motherboard phone. Granted, I have been heating this, up on my blue heat pad here at 70 degrees Celsius, so it is quite warm to the touch. That, combined with the usually cheaper adhesive that Motorola uses, I should be able to do exactly what I'm doing here. Is peeling it off in a mostly one piece. So that came off quite easily. Next up from here I'm going to have to take off the whole frame, and then from there I can get to the motherboard. I'll be using that combined with the 000 Phillips head screwdriver. And if I had an electronic one, this may be a little bit quicker. Now, being Motorola, I'm going to assume also that all these screws are probably the same length. So far, theory is proven true. I will also have to remove the SIM tray out of the phone to be able to get into it. So far, so good. Anyway, these Motorola's are fairly budget phones. This particular customer has been fairly happy with the overall camera quality of it. As the new one here says RAM boost, I highly doubt it's got RAM boost. It's probably got 4 gig of RAM, and it may utilize some swap disk method to be able to use some of the internal storage to act as RAM, which will run at a considerably slower speed, especially probably because this particular model would have fairly slow, or I'm assuming fairly slow, internal storage. So it's kind of like we've run out of space over here, so we're using it over there. It's not great over there, but we'll use it anyway. And this one I've nearly got the board out of. Now the customer can keep his old phone. That gives him spare battery, spare charger port, spare back, spare cameras, spare everything except the screen, which hopefully doesn't get broken again. Or at least for his sake, not mine, as I am financially benefiting this transaction with my services, as most businesses normally do. Next up, I'll use this to pry here. I'm assuming the bit of extra heat here is making this a bit easier to pry into. Don't know if there's any form of adhesive that's on here, but be careful here. Ooh, power button tried to escape. Go, put it back in. Done. Next up from here, I want to disconnect black antenna, white antenna, disconnect mainboard flex, disconnect power. Bingo. One old motherboard prepped. So from here, I'm going to perform some magic. Ta-da! There we go. That one's the old broken one. Put it off to the side. I do see some thermal goop on there. And what will I do with that? Clear my thermal goop off here. Grab it off here. Smush some on here. And grab the used board to go in there. Feed it in up the top up here. Get everything out of the way. Wiggle it down. Push it down, push it down. There. Click, click. Hold that. Connect up black antenna. I'm just holding over the top and pushing down. Holding over the top and pushing down. I'll grab this, fold it over. There we go. Fold this over from here. Push down. Just make sure these buttons still click before you go too far. We don't push the power button too much. Might actually wake it up mid-operation. No one wants to be woken up mid-operation. And these screws here, all of them are identical. So it's just a matter of putting them all back in. So I'm going to get into that now. There. And from here, I'm going to stick the back of the phone back onto here to heat it up and heat up this adhesive that's already on here. Being the gasket itself and the adhesive came out all completely intact, I'm not going to bother about re-gluing it or putting new double-sided tape on there. It's going to heat up just fine. Actually, I will put a little bit just here, just to fill in that gap, just to help keep it a little bit water resistant. And top section's nearly done. The old parts, I'm just going to bag it. Not much point putting it all back together. I'll bag it and call it a day. Being the screen on that does not work, a screen that doesn't work, there's really not that much point doing too much more to that. Okay. I know, I'm losing my magnet. Just demagnetized on me, my screwdriver. Not very handy. Go. Now I'm going to use some B7000 frame adhesive. Does the job just fine. Fill out this gap here. Decent amount on there. It'll be right to flip it over and stick it down. Fold it. Find it in the groove. Work your way around. Make sure it keeps falling in where it's meant to. Bingo. Moto G04 mainboard swap done. Bye.